Hello and welcome to Spoonie Space. We are a weekly web show made by Spoonies for Spoonies. What is a Spoonie? Well, a Spoonie is someone who is chronically ill or in chronic pain and it affects their daily life. So we have a community on Facebook called Spoonies for Life, and we also have a Facebook page, a website, spooniesforlife.com, where we try to reach out to other Spoonies. So today we are going to be talking about tips for battling depression. But first, I would like to introduce us. So my name is Lois. I am 41 years old. I am a mom, a wife, an RN, and I'm a Spoonie because of RA, fibro, and gastroparesis. And that's about it for me. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce my other two panelists. Go ahead, Kathy.
Hi, my name is Catherine. I'm 54 years old. I'm a mom to two adult boys, a wife, and a daughter to a Spoonie. And I am a Spoonie because I have fibromyalgia, Hashimoto's, arthritis, and a whole alphabet soup of other symptoms. I'll pass this on to Dina.
Hi there. I am Dina. I am 37 years old and I am a therapist, and I only have fur babies, no kids. My phone is going off. I apologize. I am a Spoonie because I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome and degenerative disc disorder, bunch of problems with my guts, assorted other things. Fun times. And now I will hand it back over to Lois.
Alrighty, thank you, ladies. Okay, so our topic today is depression and how to beat it. We want to avoid the whole dark side of it, so today we're just going to give you our tips and our things that we have done. But first, what I want to address and talk about is feeling suicidal. If anybody out there is feeling suicidal, please, please, please reach out for help. And there's lots of ways for you to do that. You can reach out. If you are in immediate danger, please call 911, go to the ER, get someone to help you immediately now. If you're just struggling with it, then there's lots of resources for you to reach out to. Some of the websites I have found that have great information are suicidepreventionlifeline.org, I'm alive at hopeline.com. There's crisiscallcenter.org, and there's also suicide.org. And at suicide.org, you can find the number for every single state, every single country, their suicide hotline phone number. And those hotlines are great. You're anonymous. You have someone that you can talk to about what you need help with at that point. So please, 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 if you're in that stage, seek out help. Oh, there's also Project Semicolon. That's another really great one. Okay, so that aside, I want to tell you some of the things that I do to help battle my depression. A year ago, I decided to try and go off my antidepressants and my anti-anxiety meds. I felt like they were worsening my fibro and my gastroparesis. And so with the help of my doctor, I went off of them. You need to be very careful coming off of those medications. And so I have had to have this large tool bag of things to use to help me battle when the darkness comes in and when the anxiety starts to creep up and get too high. Sorry if I keep looking down, due to fibro fog, I have to try and keep myself on track. So one of the first things that I had to start doing is finding happiness. And we all know that in the darkness of depression, it's hard to feel happy. So my philosophy is fake it till you make it. So with that, what I mean is I would every day just go search out things that might make me smile or might make me happy. Anyone who knows me knows I love pugs. I'm obsessed with them. So I would go and look up pug videos or anything funny with pugs to help me deal with that and help me find the happiness and the brightness in my day. So you just got to keep finding it, keep forcing it. Watch happy movies. Avoid the sad, depressing memes and the sad, depressing movies and the sad, depressing songs that only help to play that voice in your head that keeps wanting you to stay negative. So fake it till you make it. Another thing is talk to someone. If you're totally resistant to counselors, there's social workers, there's life coaches, or a friend. Find a good friend. Just find someone that you can talk to. Also, support group. Find a support group, whether it's online or in person. That is really helpful so that you don't feel alone in what you're going through. Another thing I do is I stop when my anxiety starts to climb, and we all know what that feels like. I stop, I take a breath, and I ground myself. And what I mean by grounding myself is I do something to engage all of my senses. I stop and go, okay, what am I hearing? And I just listen for anything, whatever I'm hearing. Right now, let's say it's a car going by. Then I find something to look at. I see a flower. Then I find something to touch, something that hopefully is close by and pleasant to touch. Find something to smell. And what that does is it just basically is bringing you back into center and not allowing that anxiety to climb too high. Let's see. I also do art therapy. I love all forms of crafts, so I do all kinds of arts and crafts to help kind of boost my mood. I go outside at least once a day. I meditate, and I also try to pay very close attention to my self-talk. If you don't know what self-talk is, it's that little voice in your head that likes to tell you the wrong thing. For instance, you're not worthy, you're not loved, etc., or you're not good enough because you're sick, etc. Pay attention to that voice. If that's what that voice is telling you, stop that voice. Tell it, no, you're lying to me, and that's not true. Ask yourself, is this thought I'm having a true statement? What in my life is happening that could make this a true statement? If there's nothing happening that can make that a true statement, obviously it's my depression trying to trick me. And so that's when I go, okay, let's reevaluate what this really is. And so it's really, really important to pay attention to that. You gotta really pay attention to what your brain is trying to tell you to do, because if you're gonna beat it, you gotta learn to love yourself, and you gotta learn to take care of yourself. So those are a few of my tips and tricks. We've got much more to talk about, so I'm gonna go ahead and pass it over to Kathy, and she's got a few of things that she uses. Kathy?
Thanks, Lois. One of the things that I did that helped me out tremendously is I participated in what's called a partial hospitalization program. Most your local hospitals provide it. Got introduced to it through my psychiatrist. And basically what it is, it's a day camp. You go in the morning and you have little 1-hour sessions where you do different things like crafting or cognitive behavioral therapy workshops, group counseling, individual counseling, and you feel you're not alone because you're there with a group of people who are all having their own problems, but it all comes down to either depression or bipolar or, any other things, addiction, and you're just in this group of like people, and you find that you tend to lean on them a little because that gives you that extra support you need to get through the day. I went through the program actually twice, and because I found myself sliding again, and I said, this helped me before, I'm going to go back. And it really, really helped me. And it helped me get to the point where I wanted to become a peer counselor, because I felt at that point I had learned enough that I could talk to other people and help them as well. And that's why I'm involved with Spoonie Space, is because I want to be there to help other people and teach them the tools that help me. The biggest tool for me that I use is coloring and crafts. I also do writing. Right now I'm writing a book, and it's basically, you can live with a mental illness and live a full life. You just need to figure out how to do it for you. The other thing I like doing is my husband keeps me laughing, because he knows that laughter is the best medicine. And so we spend a lot of time just laughing at ourselves, laughing at our life, laughing at our circumstances instead of crying about it. So I'm going to pass this on to Dina and see what she has to offer.
Hi, everybody. Well, I am a professional therapist, so I could go on ad nauseum on tools about this, but I won't. But one of the things that Lois said, I'm going to piggyback off of, and that's self-talk. That is so important. This is one of the first things that I tell every single client that comes into my office, because every client, regardless of how old they are, and I've worked with people from little kids that have come into my office because of life circumstances through the elderly. Everybody winds up having negative self-talk, and you have to change that. You just do. And that is a fake it till you make it. You change something, you create a habit for 30 days, and eventually you will change. Cognitive behavioral therapy. You change how you behave, you'll change how you think. That's what that means. So in the depression, you're telling yourself you're not good enough, you're not worthy because you've got these disabilities, yada, yada, yada. We all know what it is. I'm not going to say it. I don't need to make anybody feel worse. You know what they are for you. You need to stop that self-talk. So write on your mirror at home if you have to, and it'll make you feel silly. I don't care. And that's what I tell my clients. I don't care how silly you feel. Good. Feel silly. I like it when you feel silly. It's a good thing. Feeling silly makes you laugh. You are loved. You are lovable. You have friends. I'm sure you have friends. You have friends on Spoonie Space. You have friends on Spoonies for Life. I bet you have real life friends too. Hold on to them. You are not your disability. You are more than that. You are much more. You are loved. You are lovable. You are liked. You are more than your disability. Those are very important. There are more. I don't know you personally, so I don't know what other ones are important for you. But I'm sure you do. Think about what your negative self-talk is and turn it on its ear. And that's what needs to go on your mirror or in your wallet or in your purse. Every morning, every night, you repeat those to yourself. And eventually it will become habit, and eventually it will help you feel better about yourself. It is profound how much this will help you. And yes, it feels ridiculous at first. I know. And every single client who's ever come into my office has been like, really, do I got to do this? And I'm like, really, you got to do this. But it works. I've done it. I'm a therapist, and I'm not too proud to admit that I've become seriously depressed in the past. And I've done it. I've had to. And I'll have to again. That's life. We all do it. Other tools, Get out in the sunshine if you can. We're coming into winter. There are going to be people, and I'm sorry if I get distracted. My cat may proceed to not use the litter box, and I may have to rush off to stop her. Sorry about that. Oh, good. She's going where she needs to. I moved the litter box, and I have a senior cat. So anyway, sorry about that. If you can get into the sun, great. If you're somewhere where you can't get to the sun, they make light bulbs to help with that. Getting small amounts of controlled tanning helps with that. We need our UV. We need our light. It makes a huge amount of difference. Mandalas are a specific type of coloring that help control your focus. Highly, highly recommend them. Carl Jung, famous psych guy, recommended them back in the day, and now they're like available to everybody. You can get them for $3 at the corner store, and they can really help anxiety and they can help depression because they have pretty ones, and they can pull you out of whatever is bugging you because you can get into these things and they've got such detail. And make sure you get ones you like. And if your hands will allow it, because obviously this is not a good thing, if your hands won't allow it, don't do it if it's going to hurt you. But if it's good for you, do it. Crafting is great. Crafting is awesome. If it distracts you, do it. Now, I've had some crafting that I used to love that I can't do anymore because my hands just won't do it. I've had to give it up. So I do other things now. I do more of the painting and the mandalaing than I do needle felting because needle felting makes my hands cramp. It's life. So I accept that and I do other things. For anxiety, there are meditations. Lois is going to run you through one of hers later. There's also controlled breathing and controlled relaxation techniques. I don't know how many of you have ever been taught where you tighten and relax all the muscles of your body consecutively. So you tighten your toes, relax your toes. Tighten your calves, relax your calves. It's a way of working all the way up your body, and you're concentrating on that and only that. And as you release all the tension, you get up to your lungs, release it through your lungs, and you let it all go. It takes a while to get good at it, as all techniques do. But if you're able to learn the technique, and it doesn't matter if you start with your head or your toes, some people find it's easier to start with, clenching their face up versus their toes. Doesn't matter. But that technique can really help a lot of people. Deep breathing, it's always important. If you find that you have anxiety, remember to breathe from your diaphragm, not your shoulders. If you sang or played a musical instrument, remember what they taught you back in those days about using your diaphragm down here. Not up there. Help relax you. Yeah, obviously my body does not like breathing up there. I think those are a few of my best sellers that I do off the top, is the deep breathing, the tensing and relaxing. I do a lot of guided visualization with people, but those you have to learn yourself. Find a happy place. Make a happy place up. Where's somewhere that you would feel completely relaxed, completely safe, completely at home. It doesn't have to be anywhere you've been. Although if it is real and somewhere you've been, that's great. But come up with this place. Can you see it? Can you smell it? Can you feel it under your feet? Can you hear it? It needs to be a total sensory experience. Put yourself there. Imagine yourself there. That's where you go when the world gets overwhelming, when you get too anxious. Just put yourself in a quiet place. Do your deep breathing, and then visualize yourself in your happy place. Nothing can get to you in your happy place, because it's your happy place. Nothing bad happens in your happy place. You've got whatever it is that's wonderful there. And you can spend as much time as you need to get back to your zen. And eventually it'll take less time. And then you'll be ready to get back to whatever it was you were doing before. And good techniques for all of us. And with that, I'm going to hand it back to Lois.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Dina and Kathy. Those are some excellent, 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 excellent tips. Right now, what I'm going to do is go ahead and go to some comments that we had from people on our Facebook page. The first was from Claire, and she said she tries to find 3 reasons to be cheerful no matter how difficult or how small, and she shares them on Facebook daily. And over time, it has helped to shift her thinking. That is very true. And like Dina said, it takes time. Don't expect anything that you start doing to work in a day or two. After a month of seriously doing something every day, it will become natural, and it will just become what you do, and it will change how you think. Rhonda says that having RA, OA, spinal stenosis, and her meds and vitamin supplements require her to sit in the sun for 15 minutes each day. She finds that no matter the temp or how rotten she's feeling, the sun in her face works wonders for depression, which, like Dina said, I think Kathy even said, get outside. If you live, this time of year is very hard. I used to live in Seattle, so I know for those of you that live in the north and in cold areas where there's no access to sun sometimes, that's where you can get, like Dina said, the lights. They make lights and light bulbs that mimic sunlight. Also tanning. Now tanning daily and tanning to turn brown, I'm telling you, is not good for you. That will cause skin cancer. But if you go for 5 minutes once or twice a week, that's enough to give you just enough UV and just enough to boost your spirits, boost your mood, and make you feel good and feel toasty warm, especially if you live in a cold area. Let's see. Hannah says her 4 cats keep her going. They are the bright spot in her life and give her something to look forward to, especially when she feels hopeless. So for those of you that have fur babies, use them. We all know how they cheer us up and help us. If you're contemplating getting one, check with some of your local animal shelters, and also if you're on disability, there's some programs, and other countries may be different, other states, even counties can be different, but check and see. There's programs that will help people get support animals, support dogs, support cat, something to look into, especially if you can get help with it. There's programs for that. Let's see. Ketty says music. She listens to music 24/7. Music is definitely a good thing to use. Just remember, if you're feeling blue, don't turn to music that makes you feel even more blue, that makes you cry, makes you feel sad. Find the music that makes you want to dance, or if you're into rock and roll, it makes you want to bang your head, you know, whatever it is, find what that music that pumps you up and makes you feel good and happy. Another person said music. So obviously music is a common technique that people use for depression. Right now, as we're getting close to the end of the show, I want to go over a meditation that you can do. This is one that I do a lot, and I even have done it without laying in a quiet place or sitting in a quiet place. I've done it when I've just been sitting in a room full of people and feeling just too anxious. The first thing you need to do is when you're feeling the anxiety or depression or whatever that negative emotion is, you need to find where it resides in your body. And what I mean by that is that feeling. Like for me, it's always in my stomach and my chest gets tight and I start to get a little nauseated and it feels like I got too many butterflies in my stomach, and then I kind of feel like I want to jump out of my skin. So I find that centered place and I find that feeling and I give it a color, and the color I usually give it is black. So now what I want you to do is imagine that there is a bubble in front of you, and this is a clear bubble. And what I want you to do is take and all that black feeling or whatever color you've given that's inside of you, imagine it coming out and into that bubble. And just keep imagining it pouring out, pouring out, pouring out, pouring out until you feel like it's all out of you and into that bubble. Every bit of emotion, even if it's good emotion, pull it all out and throw it in there. So now you've got this bubble of blackness. I want you to take and imagine another bubble. It's a clear bubble. And we're going to put a filter between these two bubbles and stick them together. Now what I want you to do is turn it upside down like an hourglass. And you're going to filter that negative black energy through that filter. But what's going to come through on the other side is beautiful, loving, energetic, healing, whatever you need energy is filling that bubble, and give it a good, positive, wonderful color like pink or gold or whatever makes you feel good. That's what's filling that bubble. And once it's all filtered, you take that nasty black bubble and you get rid of it. It's no longer a part of you. Now you've got all this wonderful, beautiful, glowing energy, emotion, everything that you need back in your body. And I want you to take and imagine that. I like to imagine that it's over my head and cracks like an egg. And it just all comes over me. Or sometimes I imagine it's like a water spout pouring into me. And it's filling me. And all that wonderful energy is just filling my body. And it's all good and calm and wonderful and peaceful. And so now what I've done is I've totally distracted myself from whatever it was causing that anxiety. And I've replaced it with really good energy, and I feel better. And you know what? Maybe you've got to do it over and over again, but it helps. It really does help. Another thing you might say is, I can't meditate. I can hardly concentrate for 10 seconds. Well, I was that way at first too. So what you need to do is sit, and if it's only 10 seconds you can handle, that's okay. Just do it. Just sit and be quiet and try to imagine that bubble. And just, if it's 10 seconds today, that's all right. Tomorrow you'll do 20. And then the next day maybe you'll do 30. Or maybe you'll try it in the morning and then in the evening, and just slowly, slowly increase it. And before you know it, you'll be meditating and not even realizing that you've been able to do it. And I promise you, it helps anxiety. It helps to calm you down. It can help you get calm enough to sleep. It can help you cope with pain. I use it when I'm in severe pain. I will imagine my pain filling that bubble. Whatever it is you can do, please find it and help yourself. Well, it looks like we're getting about to the end of the show, so I just want to check with my other panelists. Do either of you have anything you'd like to add? Nope. Okay, wonderful. Well, I want to thank everybody for tuning in with us. Remember, we've got our website, spooniesforlife.com. We also have a shop if you'd like to get some Spoonie gear. We've got wonderful shirts, we've got jewelry, just everything that you can imagine, Spoonie. And we hope you'll tune in with us in the future. Have a wonderful day, and we hope this helped you. Bye-bye.